Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
Check it, 1 2 1 2. What is this? Back to bits. Like, we're not gonna start it off like that. I ain't gonna lie. People who start their stuff like that is corny, but we're gonna talk about something that's been going through the inner space, the manosphere, the red pill universe, whatever that is. And it's about your boy Myron Gaines. And a lot of people, when they put up their content, they're talking about Fresh and Fit podcast. And as an entity, it is something, but it's really pushed and peddled by Myron Gaines. And we're going to talk about this, man, because he really doing some destructive things. He really putting young, impressionable men in harm's way. And it's not looking good. You know, to be honest with you, he's even putting the people that's around him. I don't know what his name is, Chris or something. Fresh, aka Walter something. They look like some stooge pigeons with everything that's going on right now. They don't know what to do because they don't have a strong internal moral center that they can rely on. And so we're going to talk about y'all. I am here to prove that Myron only partially believes what he says. And that he actually is more interested in pushing his harmful ideology than anything, even met with contradictory evidence. You'll see that when he comes on this podcast. You have quote-unquote high-value men coming on this podcast saying, nah, bro, actually, I'm done with all that. I'm done with messing with all those girls, man. I'm not just trying to smash as much as I can. But Myron's position is that men want quantity no matter what. And you had Andrew Tate. You have Kevin Samuels. You have other men saying, what's his name? The big buff dude. I forgot his name. Coming on saying, yo, man, I actually just want one girl right now. I ain't interested in doing all that. Why? Because they've been getting girls for a majority of their adult life. Myron Gaines, on the other hand, has not. So for him, he is that guy in the candy store. That's what people don't understand. When he tells that candy store analogy, it's because he had to wait so long to get into that candy store. Other men have had other ways of getting in that candy store. You don't have to make $100,000 a year. Even though I make well over $100,000 a year, before I was making that money, I was still getting in that. I was still talking to women. And it's because Myron actually has no game. Now, this is one of the things I want to talk about. Myron actually has no game. Because no man that has game would talk about getting into the candy store when you're 30-something years old. It's because he just started getting in there. So that's one thing, one of the contradictions that we have to go through. And there's so many people putting up videos. What's special about this video that I'm about to do real quick is that we're actually going to just break him down logically. We're not going to attack him. We're not going to give useless commentary. A lot of people just, you know, one thing I can't stand? I can't stand going on YouTube and people having all these commentary videos and they got their little screen in the corner. They not saying nothing. They might as well just be playing the content. I'm like, yo, I don't hear any commentary, any opinions. You just be like, oh yeah, I agree with that. Then you press play again. What? So we actually going to actually give you some real content. And this is for the men who just want the truth. This is for the men who just want to know what are the contradictions, the logical fallacies. Where is he wrong? Where is he right? Now, I don't want this video to be too long because, you know, we're going to see how this goes. But let's just talk about a couple things. So, one thing, they're hemorrhaging followers, subscribers. Fresh and Fit, the podcast, was blowing up. It's been blowing up for like at least 6 or so months. You know, I watch a couple of people that they, I think, cite. I watch Kevin Samuels because it's funny. It's funny watching him argue against women who have ridiculous standards for themselves. I do think Kevin Samuels goes a bit too far sometimes, putting women down. But that's another thing. He says he's harsh. Let's be real. If he wasn't as harsh, he wouldn't have, I don't know, he got like 1 million subscribers right now. So it's a tactic. You know, Kevin Samuels ain't talking to women like this on the real. At least I don't think that's true. If he is, he is. But what I'm saying is that they've been blowing up for 6 months. They're actually going to bounce back. That's the saddest thing about this. And they're going to bounce back because there is an abundance of young, impressionable men who are struggling with women and who have had women do terrible things to them. This is one of the problems with the red pill space. And you say, oh my God, you're coming on here, you're bashing the red pill space. Fam, I'm not bashing the red pill space. It's true. A lot of the people in there are bitter, and it's because they didn't have whatever it was to make women attracted to them. Yes, that can be very frustrating when you're horny as hell, when you're trying to get into something. Why? Because it's your biological instinct to reproduce. And when you don't have access to that, it's very frustrating. This is something that oftentimes women never understand. And this is one of the things I'll agree with the red pill space. A lot of women don't understand how hard it is to be a man in the situation. You have to come correct. You have to pursue. You have to get game. Sometimes when I hear people say you have to have a game, I kind of hate that because it kind of sounds like it's a little silly thing you have to do. No, you just have to be a person of depth and be able to hold a conversation, make her laugh, be intriguing, be mysterious at times. That's not something like, oh, I gotta have game, I have to say all the clever stuff. That's silly. Just be a solid person. Read, travel, go do things, develop yourself, go do fun stuff on your own. Talk to people from different countries, talk to people from different cities, people outside of your echo chamber. Get their perspective so that when you talk to a woman and she starts talking to you, you can talk and have all kind of conversations. And just by the mere fact of who you are, what you have done and your experiences, you will be intriguing. And once you have enough people who want to be with you, women, right, you won't be so thirsty. And then when a woman treats you like shit, you're not just going to accept it. And women find that very attractive. When you can tell a woman, oh, no, I'm good. No, I don't put up with that. I'm out of here. Women respect that, and they can sense that they are replaceable. So I have to be on my best behavior to get this man. See, I'm kicking y'all game. I shouldn't even be kicking y'all game. But let's go into it, because I didn't even get into the stuff that I wanted to get into. Let's talk about Mr. Myron Gaines. Now, the sad thing also, too, not only is the channel going to recover because there's a almost limitless supply of young impressionable men who are struggling with women, but it's also because Myron packages content from people who actually know what they're talking about to some extent. Rollo Tomasi, he studied this, right? Men, women relations. I don't think everything Rollo Tomasi says is right. I think sometimes he overanalyzes certain things, but he brings up some good thing. He uses a lot of evolutionary biology. He uses a lot of kind of, anecdotal evidence that he's seen over the many years. I don't know how old that man is. The thing about it is with Rollo Tomasi is that he does give me beta male vibes. Even though sometimes I don't really subscribe to these like alpha male, beta male, rah, rah, rah. Sometimes these categories are too simplistic. But sometimes, I wonder how much of this is him, he has learned on the field, or he has just saw and theorized on from his perch. I know he said, I used to be in the band and everything like that. Listen, when I look at your boy, he don't strike me as somebody who's just picking up girls left and right. I could be wrong. That's not the vibe I get from him. Patrice O'Neal. Now, look, Patrice O'Neal did not give a fuck about what anybody said. Wisdom. Man be preaching. R.I.P. There's some other people, Tom Likas from back in the day. I think AMS has been blowing up. There's a bunch of people, So Myron's going to be, Myron's sometimes correct because he repackages content from people who actually know what they're doing. But all in all, the Myron and Walter show, the Fresh and Fit, really the Myron show, really gives me Revenge of the Nerds energy. It's like Revenge of the Dweebs. And Myron is a dweeb. Anybody who constantly cites stats and numbers when you're just trying to have a regular conversation is a dweeb. You don't even need statistics to crush people, which he does. Did you know what percentage of this is? Yes, bro. What? Relax. No, we didn't know what percentage is. And we can talk about our experience. And even sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, some of the stats I think he's right on. A lot of the stats he cherry picks. And when there's stats that challenge his idea, he's like, oh, well, it can't be true because men don't tell the truth. Whatever nonsense. Bro. And this is one of the things the biggest thing I want to take away. Myron Gaines, it's not that he doesn't believe what he's saying. It's that he wants to believe what he's saying. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. Myron Gaines is actually pushing an ideology that he wants to be true. For a while, I used to listen to him and be like, man, you're getting a lot of contradictory evidence. Every single time he brings women onto his show, or even other guests, male guests, you'll see every show, there's at least a couple people who contradict his ideas. And he just dismisses them completely. So we're going to talk a little bit about this man. Let's first talk about his argumentation style. Now, Myron Gaines, he's always out arguing people because he's refined his argumentation tactics over several videos that he's done. This man has done, the Fresh and Fit podcast do the exact same after hours show several times a week. And it's repetitive, it's redundant, it's boring. But to Myron's advantage, he has heard so many of the arguments before. He has said his argument many times, and it's been refined over several months. That's why women are completely blindsided, because he says the same thing, women have the same response, then he has the analogy, then he has, some of his analogies are trash too. Oh, I got this Louis bag for $10,000. And then you got it for $5,000. Wouldn't you be mad? That's how, man. Shut the fuck up. What do you get you? Anyway, so the one thing he does is that he goes on these long soliloquies, right? And he bombards women with a barrage of definitive statements, and then more often than not will interrupt the people who are responding to him, and at a random time assert that they are simply wrong and they don't have to like it. You don't have to like it, but you're wrong. It's absurd. His argumentation style is absurd. Listen, I was on the debate team when I was in college. He would have lost every debate like that. You cannot simply assert that you're correct and you don't have to like it. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Myron Gaines actually, he doesn't necessarily believe everything he says is true. He wants it to be true. Because his goal, I see, this is something that is real subtle. Y'all have to catch this. His goal isn't to educate people, it's to convince people. He wants this world order to come back. And I'm going to talk about why he's going down a rabbit hole that's not going to get him anywhere. Because the world isn't going back. I hate to break it to you. One of the things that also gets on my nerves is when he constantly uses these weak gotcha things to refute people's points. So a woman would say, oh, well, yeah, I used to date a man that was shorter than me. And they say, oh, well, where is he now? And she'll be like, well, we're not together anymore. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, gotcha. Well, that proves my point. Bro, that is the flimsiest gotcha tactic. And then he'll say, that's not true. It's not that. He's like, oh, yeah. But the fact of the matter is you're not with him anymore. As if that's the only reason that a woman would break up with. These women are telling you, yo, I have had romantic experiences with men that don't fit your silly criteria. Another thing that this man does that drives me crazy is that he asks women to recollect from memory, verbatim, definitions in the dictionary, and then constantly dismisses them if they can't recite it by heart. I mean, it's the most ridiculous. It's so cringy. Oh, do you know what misogyny is? And some women will even pretty much say it and say, nope, that's not what it is. And then they'll pull it up and he'll read it. Where does it say we hate women? It says you have to hate women or hold them in contempt. By the way, he never sticks with that. He constantly holds women in contempt. And listen, this is not I'm going to endlessly defend women. Although I love women, I adore women. If you've had the privilege of meeting a lot of amazing women like I have, you're not going to talk. You're not going to be bitter like Myron. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some trifling women out there. Trifling. Dark energy. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Those women exist. Okay? But see, the difference between me and Myron and a lot of people that he aspires to be, deep down inside, I know he aspires to be, is that women have loved me because of who I am, not because of what I have or how tall I am or because I have a six-pack. That's his problem. He has had to do things to overcome his shitty personality. That's the problem. He has a whack personality. I'm a 1%. Have you seen this man seeking arrangements page? You talking about 1%, man? You are a clown. Who leads with that? You leading with numbers. I'm in the top 3% in height. The top 5% with abs. Bro, that's not how attraction works. It's not how attraction works, bro. It is a feeling. Sometimes it's inexplicable. Yes, there are things that we can point to. Yes, women can say, this is my ideal man. But so many times those women who say, that's my ideal man, end up with somebody else. And sometimes it's because, yes, they have outrageous standards, but it's also because the attraction when they meet a man who's somebody that they like and they admire and they appreciate doesn't have that same rudimentary formula that you talking about. How tall does he have to be? How much money does he have to make? And is he fat in shape? Bro, yes, all of those things will make you stronger initially, but it's not gonna hold you there. And maybe that's what he wants. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else that is so disappointing to me, man. The women who have slept with this man, and a lot of them are young, immature women. They bring a lot of clout chasing. I just want you to tell people my Instagram handle on his show, and a lot of women come in there because they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get up there. They want to be popular. You know, Lil Wayne when he says, "I just want 10,000 followers." So that's what they're looking for. But the thing about it is like you can't do that with women who actually know what they're talking about. And the few women who have really good argumentation styles, like it's been ugly. It's been ugly. And you see Myron, he will lose the argument and say, well, you're wrong. You just don't know what you're talking about. And he's losing the argument. I can't stand how he uses these straw men. Where did we say we hate women? Bro, have you ever heard of dog whistling? You need to go read the book Racism Without Racists. It talks about how racists today won't come out and say, I hate black people. I hate Jewish people. They won't say stuff like that. Because everybody knows that's racist. You don't say stuff like that. So what do? They do things that are racist. And then they pretend to actually care. That's exactly what you do. You dog whistle. Day in and day out. And then you use silly things that might not necessarily have any correlation. Oh, women are more antidepressants than ever before. The correlation is entirely speculative. You address that. What does that have to do with relationships? The person who's the most unhappy is a 42 woman with no. Why might that be, bro? It's because nobody. See, you say people like get happiness from their achievements. Yo, I'm a high achieving man. I'm around a lot of high achieving men. Let me tell you something. Getting what you want ain't gonna make you happy. When you get partner at the law firm, you're gonna be like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be happy. I'm making $350,000 a year. Why am I not happy? So many people. That's why you see celebrities committing suicide. It's not because they don't have a man that they can take leadership from, which in a lot of times will stabilize someone's life. You know, I'm not going to lie about that. But you're going to have to tell me why Whitney Houston overdosed in that bathtub. R.I.P. Why so many people, so many celebrities with money, status, all the things that you claim make men happy, they kill themselves anyway. Why? Because they realized when they got to the top, when they worked their entire life to make it to this pinnacle of fame and fortune, it did not make them happy. And in fact, it made them sad and empty inside. Because things don't make people happy. That's man, woman, or otherwise. It's the quality of the relationships. It's helping people. Things that make you a person of dignity and respect. And that's something you don't have, Myron. There's all these videos that are coming out showing what you do to people, what you say to people, how you force women into degrading sex. Miss Cheeks on Twitter. And to come out and to hear that you hate your followers and you talk shit about them behind their backs. The followers who are giving you money and super chats and you trashing them. That's crazy, bro. How could you do that? How can you do that as a man? The people who are paying your bills. You talking to some lonely clown, all the stuff that you saying behind their back. And shout out to Allende and Large J for bringing this to light, man. And the reason I'm making this video, man, is because I had all these suspicions about Myron, and then when I started seeing these videos, it was like, yo, this is exactly what I thought was happening. It was exactly like to the T, and I was like, yo, either I'm a genius, or I need to start talking to these people because I can see right through them. Myron, bro, this one thing that I'm gonna talk to Myron right now, bro. Bro, you have unresolved rage. That's one of the biggest issues, bro. You have unresolved rage. And I remember there was a time you were like, you know, my parents whooped me and look how I came out. Bro, you didn't come out right. When I hear you talk, you sound like a bitter, scarred individual. And when you talk about rage, you really got to find out where that rage is coming from, bro. Because on some real stuff, you talking about for balance of probabilities. On a balance of probabilities, you shouldn't be angry like that. You're tall. You're not an ugly guy. Even though you bald and stuff like that, it does not matter. You got your bald spot. You got to come home, bro. Just come on. But you tall. You're fit. You have money. You listen, I've had to be in a hospital with kids who had cancer, terminally ill. And you over here, why would you be so angry all the time? That means you got something you have not worked out internally. Bro, you need therapy. When you cannot control your anger, the way you cannot control your anger, that is a symptom of a disturbed internal center. When you talk shit about everybody, you talk shit about your followers, you talk shit about the guests that you bring on, the guests that you pay to bring on, Kevin Samuels, the roommates. And then we hear that you be fumbling the box all the time because you can't even get out your own way because your rage is oozing out of your pores when you talk to women. That thing you sent to Anna Quinn Fitness, it was oozing with rage and contempt for her. So I'm not gonna collab with you unless I have sex with you. Who says that? You're full of contradictions. On the one hand, I want burning genuine desire, and on the other hand, you must have sex. You knew she was not gonna accept that. You just were so angry. You wanted to get that off. And we hear that you haven't forcing women into degrading sex because you hate women. Let's keep it a buck, bro. You've been turned down time over time again, and you could not understand it. And you try to put numbers together. You try to do all these things because women would humiliate you as they do on your show. Half the time they come on there because they can sense a man that doesn't have integrity and respect for him and respect for himself. Start throwing out women and stuff like that. Bro, you destroying your own reputation for clicks and views. And one thing that you said, women can't lead. Bro, have you not have any powerful, brilliant women in your vicinity? Go listen to the Prime Minister of Barbados. Fresh should never accept hearing that coming from Barbados. Everybody knows that woman is one of the most brilliant leaders of a state in the world. You just listen, oh, women can't lead. They're not designed to lead. They can't solve men's problems. Bro, women been solving hella problems since day one. It ain't just the male species of the human beings that are intelligent. Women are incredibly intelligent. And what you fail to realize is that men and women are complementary. It doesn't mean, rah, 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 I'm the big caveman, I kill people, and you stay at home with the babies. That is a caveman mentality, bro. And that's one thing I wanted to talk to you. Bro, we're not going back. We're not going back to this traditional world. Women have been brought in for about 50 years into the economic workforce. They're going to school more than men. Everywhere you go in a white collar job, there are way more women than men. They make better social networks with men, and everybody knows that white collar Jobs isn't about what you know, it's about who you know. Women tend to be better communicators, minus the women that you bring on your show. Because you got a bunch of young, I'm just pretty, I just want to be on Instagram and show my booty. Oh, a podcast? Yeah. And then you come and you just blindside them and, don't you understand that men have to do this and they're gonna, You can't bring women like that on your show, bro. If I brought the women that I know on that show, they would eviscerate you. So, Myron's got to go. Myron's a scumbag. It ain't Fresh, Chris, Aaron, whoever. They following this man. He's turning them into these drones. You know what I'm saying? And they have some speech impediments. And I think it's whack. People who make fun of speech impediments, I think you're whack. Like, that's not something you can control. But you have men who are really actually seem like decent-hearted men, right? They don't want no confrontation. They're not trying to hurt people, right? And you turning them into scumbags. That's what's getting really ugly. So Myron is full of contradictions and logical fallacies. He's not a high-value person. And I just hope that all the women who fall for his little spell can look back and say, my goodness, I actually need to talk to a man of value and character, because that's what matters. At the end of the day, you listen, there's always going to be somebody who makes more than a man, who's taller, who's fitter, who's more handsome. But can you find a man with character that's going to be honest, do their best by you to the very end? That's what this is about. Money. Money can only do so much. You're talking to somebody that got money. I don't need to do this YouTube shit. I got money. I just wanted to talk to this man. And I wanted to talk to his viewers, like the young man that was on Abba and Preach. That was like, man, I done bought a truck. They taught me everything. And I'm about to get another truck. First of all, a car is a depreciating asset. If Myron and company didn't tell you that, let me be the first to tell you. You need a car that gets you from point A to point B. And I know, man, we want to do it in a little bit of style. Yeah, but don't go too crazy with it. Don't get a second truck for what? Use that money and set up your 401k. Set up your portfolio. Okay? Get into trading. Whether you're going to buy and hold or be a day trader, what you're going to sell currencies, whatever. But find financial instruments that are going to give you returns that are not going to show up as liabilities on your balance sheet. See, you talking about kicking to your game. And you know what's really embarrassing? I'm going to just have to say something real quick, man. Then I just got to end this because I'm tired of talking. Myron Gaines invested like $20-some thousand in in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Which I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a whole lot of money. Did you hear me? And then he showed it on the screen. It said like $90-some thousand, as if that was a lot of money. Let me ask you something. What can you do with $90,000? Seriously. Okay, first of all, you can't buy no Ferrari, right? You can get you a nice Mercedes-Benz, a real nice one. All right, nice top of the line one, right? BMW, boom. Okay, how long you gonna drive that car? 5-10 years? A luxury car like that? The maintenance yearly alone gonna put you in a negative. So what you gonna do with that? You see, that's the difference when you talk about money. See, Myron actually has never made real money. Real money means you have influence. This is why I always try to tell people, nobody has any money. Only a few people have money. If you can't make politicians do what you want, you don't have money. If you can't stop working for 10 years, you don't have money. You have to work. And you are part of the working class. Whether you want to believe it or not. That's why this whole high value man thing, there's something to it, but even that, it has its limits. Because once you have enough money to have a roof over your head, have food on your table, right? Maybe go on a vacation 2 to 3 times a year. Right? Get you some nice things every now and then. What you need money for? The gap between that and an actual difference in your life is dramatic. You need to have at least $1.2 million in liquidable assets to have money that you can liquidize in a week. And that's just the beginning of money. So this is a whole nother topic. But Myron, if you're showing me your stock, your portfolio, and you show me 90-some thousand, bro, you ain't got no money. Like, and you brag about that, bro. If I showed my stock portfolio, you would be humbled. You would want to delete that video. All right, y'all. If y'all want me to make another video, like, comment, and subscribe. Send some comments. I don't really want to do this YouTube thing, man, but there's so much stuff I could talk about, and I'm not about to just take down other YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot of YouTubers. I like Advent Preach. I like a lot of people that's doing some stuff. What I do is I try to take nuggets from what people say, even though I disagree with a lot. I even disagree with Advent Preach. I think they messed up on the Palestine thing because they're not historically grounded in what a lot of freedom fighters identify as one of the most important things to do in this world. We're literally talking about genocide in slow motion. We're not gonna get into that. But Advent Preach, they write a lot, and they have some strong takes. AMS, he's got a lot of strong takes. You can tell he's been in the field. So if y'all want me to keep making videos, I will. If y'all like this, let me know. But until next time, peace.
It sound right, boy.